linguistics exposure, pathways to proficiency and beyond. As we all believe that, no, the most important thing is that as long as you are having a proficiency in your communication in specific linguistics exposure, that will make you to be more happier, healthier, and also successful. So I thank Priyanka for giving us the time to talk about the topic pathways to proficiency and beyond related to this linguistic exposure. Uh, so I request everyone to subscribe the channel, watch the channel, and like the channel. Listen till the end so that you will not miss any point, so that you will be able to make your pathway for your proficiency and beyond to making your life, personal life and professional life more happier and healthier. Now I invite Priyanka Reddy, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Andhra University, to take over the session.
Thank you so much, sir, first of all. And I'm quite delighted, privileged, and I'm very much thankful to Dr. Maheepathi Srinivas Rao, sir, for giving me this opportunity so that I can share whatever I have acquired knowledge so far through my experiences and from my senior colleagues and yes, from my education so far. Thank you so much once again. So I'll share the screen.
Yeah, please, you can.
Yes. Is it all good to go, sir? No?
Yeah, good to go.
Yes. So as sir already introduced that my topic that I chose for today's talk is linguistic exposure, pathways for proficiency and beyond. So why, first of all, that the question is why I chose this topic. Since it says linguistic exposure, I feel that for human beings, we are Homo sapiens. We are specially equipped and considered as a on a higher strata of all the like creatures that God has created. That one basic difference we experience as human being is the language, that we have a very strong form of communication, that is language, and that makes us well uh, equipped to propagate or to transfer our thoughts, our feelings, emotions. Now, linguistic exposure. Exposure is, I would like to emphasize on this word exposure. Uh, it is an area or a broad spectrum, if we see, that gives us the opportunity to explore different languages. And today, through this, whatever I'm going to discuss, I would try to give my best to convey the information or convey the thought behind this particular topic. Is that nowadays, with the advent of social media, a lot of AI, we are coming across a lot of information, lot of I guess with that information, lot of languages also evolve, lot of jargons are also introduced, a wide and a ocean. I mean, I can say a plethora of words are coming across, but we need to choose. We need to choose according to our domain, or we need to understand the differentiation between certain set of uh, words that are important in certain set of environment, I will say. For example, if we are if I guess if I discuss about educational institute, we are we restrict ourselves with usage of particular terms or terminologies that we should use in front of the students, in front of our higher hierarchies, our officials, with our colleagues, and with our contemporaries also. So know or to have the awareness of differentiation between selection of language or words are very important nowadays. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Priyanka Reddy, and I'm assistant professor in the Department of English in Anurag University. I once again thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. So, I would now proceed with the next slide. So, the topic here is introduction to linguistic exposure. So, with this, what is linguistic exposure? So if we go by the definition, it says the degree with which an individual is exposed to language in their environment. This is very simple concept to understand that if we are born in a particular geographical area, then we are bound to adopt that language, and we are also bound to adopt languages as well as the dialects which comes along with the language. And then see the importance here, next is the importance. So for language acquisition, literacy, and for cognitive flexibility. Now this term cognitive flexibility, cognitive, I would like to I'll discuss in the upcoming slide. So for language acquisition, it's quite important for us to have a flexible mindset that we should expand our ability to understand and grasp uh, different languages, because it gives us a wide range of options wherever. If we switch our job role, if we like to switch our area of where we stay, because of the work purpose or because of any other purpose, we should have one language known to us that makes our communication better. For example, in South India, if we see, the South India has different states like Karnataka is Kannada is popular there. In Andhra and Telangana, it is Telugu, and then in Kerala it is Malayalam, and in Tamil Nadu it is Tamil. So all these languages are not similar, are not at all similar. Okay, so they have their different way of expressing their thought. The syntax are different, the dialects are different, and the expressions we use to express certain ideas are also different. But if we choose a common pathways to connect to each other, we see that English here becomes a very important language where almost all the South Indian states are pretty much good equipped with understanding and also speaking good English. I'm talking about the uh, those people who are whom we get in contact with in our day-to-day lives. Like if I go for travel in South India, if I want to book a cab, or I want to I'm at a reception of any hotel, or if I go to a local vendor, I can use language that is English language, uh, because it is common for my communication flexibility. So here is, and it increases the literacy, it enhances our literacy. And yes, the cognitive flexibility, I'll talk about that later. The scope. So the scope here lies in the fact that one thing, like if I am born in a Telugu family, so Telugu is my mother tongue. I am speaking, I have always heard my parents speaking in Telugu. But suppose if I go to a school which is central school, which speaks where Hindi is the popular language, that my first language becomes Telugu, which is spoken at home and which I am hearing constantly in my growth years. And if I go to school, central schools or English medium schools, if we say, then that language becomes my second language that we in terms of linguistic studies we consider as L2. So L1 and L2 are quite important in terms of cognitive development of an individual. Here the talk is not about student centric, professional centric, or I guess any other, but it's about an evolve like mental evolution in a proper manner, in a cognitive manner of an individual. In life also we should be like very much enthusiastic, or we should show our interest to know different languages, and then the multilingual contexts. Now, why linguistic exposure matters? So when we when we choose a topic, or we when we come across any concept, I feel that two things should be always keep in our mind, that is how and why. So first I would like to address the question of why it is important, or why it matters, why linguistic exposure matters. With this linguistic exposure, this gives you that, first of all, we would like to understand that this talk is to enhance your ability or your understanding, that do not stick to one language. If you are born, those who are watching today, so if you are born in one language setup, try to expand that language exposure. If we are born, suppose if I am born in Telugu community, I would, or I should try hands on other languages also. And this should also, and here parents play a very vital role. Yes, of course, teachers do play a very important role also, but I feel personally that parents have a very pivotal role here to play. How I would discuss that eventually. Now, influences like vocabulary size, why it matters, because linguistic exposure, when you are exposed to language helps us to enhance vocabulary size, your fluency, your pronunciation. Now, it is also important that when you are acquiring, or when you are trying to understand other language, or or you are trying to learn other language, it is important for us to understand the syntax of the language, I mean, the sentence structure of the language, the dialectical form of the language, so that you do not come across committing such mistake which may lead for any other meaning. For example, in Telugu, balli means lizard. That balli in Tamil means something else. So the meaning shifts. So all such sort of understanding and this vocabulary, when we are learning vocabularies, then we need to understand the meaning of it, because meaning changes from one languages to another. Now, yes, and another is your pronunciation too. So when we pronounce other language, it's also important to recheck the pronunciation. Uh, in English, or if even if we are learning in English or Hindi, for example, when we write uh, office, so actually it is written as office in Hindi, like a ki matra, and then there is one like, I would say that the spelling matters. But when we pronounce it in Hindi, most of the people end up pronouncing it office. It's not actually office, it's office itself. The symbol we use itself directs to pronounce it as office and not office. So that difference should be very much, I mean, that cognitive, I was talking about the cognitive understanding. So cognitive means uh, here, yes, just a minute. Um, Now, yes. So cognition here means when you what is your memory, like how your mind flexible is, your understanding skills, your learning skills, your receptive skills, your retention power. All these factors comes under your cognitive skills. Now here, cognitive skills also involve that's what I spoke, memory, your attention, and your problem solving ability. And it shapes your social identity and intellectual competence also. How social identity? That when you are so, like, in a language wise, when you are well equipped, or you have acquired the second language, so wherever you go, you will be at the position to express your thoughts on a finest level. And that actually introduces your intercultural competence, how you are competent to that particular the other particular language. So if I am born and brought up in some other place, like apart from Hyderabad, I will not, my language competence in Telugu will not be as profound as a native speaker of Hyderabad. So here, when I shift to Hyderabad, I am supposed to acquire or put my efforts to understand the language of Hyderabad, that is Telugu, um, so that it will help me to express my opinion, because I cannot go and speak in English with a vegetable seller, or a grocery man, or a milk seller. So I need to acquire myself with the the colloquial, not colloquial, but yes, the uh, local language of Hyderabad. So linguistic, uh, like how linguistic exposure plays a vital role in our childhood. Now, first of all, we would see this term. So here the term is uh, tabula rasa. Now, this term is, or it originates from a Latin word, and the literal translation is a blank slate. A blank slate. So with this blank slate, what we do actually, we all can go to our childhood and recall it, that what we were doing with a blank slate or a blank page. We just used to, either we used to scribble something, or we used to just draw something on it. So when you get a blank sheet or a blank slate, you can write anything on it. For children, for a child, it is important that he or she is well equipped with language exposure. That improves the cognitive skill of the child. How? When with the critical period hypothesis, this is heightened sensitivity to language input early in life. The first thing a child picks up is the language. The first, he or she has to learn motor skills also, that we say the things which we do with our hands, with our fingers. But before that, the first thing acts is our hearing ability, is our listening skill. And the child picks the first ability is, I mean, he improves, or he or she inculcates uh, skill is the listening skill. So it's quite important to, for the parent or the people around the child, to speak language, rather, like, not to use the colloquial terms, but good uh, good terms or terminologies or good sentences, so that the child would end up picking up something that is quite quality in its term. A home language environment, that is quantity and quality of interaction matters. So yes, I was talking about the quality. Now quantity also matters. Like for example, if a child is in its growth age, from uh, not 5 even, 3 to 7 years. That particular age is quite vital for the children, for the child, and he or she tends to pick up certain words from whatever he or she is listening from his or her mother or father. The conversation between the parent and the conversation between the family members. So it's very important for us to be aware that what we are using, what sort of language we are using, what sort of expressions we are using to convey, and what type of emotions also we are using to convey our message to the child. So they are with blank slate and they are ready to pick up whatever they listen. And here, the most important part is once they pick up a term, and if that term ends up in certain bad, like something which should not be used by a child, then it becomes quite difficult for the parent or for the like guardian to rectify it. So from initial days itself, we need to understand this and we need to work upon this. We need to work upon ourselves as adults, as mature beings. Now, the role of caregivers and media. Yes, nowadays children are seen to be very much exposed to social media quite early age. I have come across lots of visuals where I have seen that 1 year old uh, kid or a 3 year old kid or a 5 year old kid or a 10-year-old kid is watching mobile phone, and he or she is quite a very well they can copy the terms, words, and that's what it all matters. Now here are the types of cognitive cognitions, that is attention, like what sort of attention we are paying, then language and learning. Language, yes, what sort of languages children are coming across, and learning. While we learn, what we are learning is important. There are a plethora of informations available, but what we are choosing to learn is important. Now, the memory, under cognition, memory is another very important, that the retention power should be very good in the initial stage, and it is eventually, like scientifically, children to have good memory power. And then perception. So when you come across your attention span, your language exposure, your learning ability, and your memory, obviously these are all contribute to perception creation. And then the thought. Now, here are certain types of linguistic exposure. Now, the types, as I said, that I give an example of a household setup. So it is naturalistic, where like incidental exposure through interaction, when a child is listening to their parent, to his parent speaking. Now, instructional sort of like mode takes place in classroom or structural learning. And then passive becomes like listening without active engagement. So if I am listening a podcast and I'm a passive listener there, and I'm not at all like in a full form attentive, but still I am my mind is consuming certain terms, certain concepts through that listening. So that is, yes, that is a passive way of linguistic exposure. I am exposed to certain sort of uh, language. And then comes the active, that is, if we are reading, yes, reading skill is a receptive skill where we receive. So when receptive skill means when we are a good receptor, we are a good reader. So here we can do one thing, is we need to understand that how much it is important, and how much all these things, listening, reading, speaking, writing, LSRW skill we say in ELT, English language teaching. So all these are important factors in a child's growth age in terms of his educational growth. Yes, and multilingualism and linguistic richness. Now, multilingualism and linguistic richness, why we ask and why I am today discussing, or why generally nowadays we will see that lots of literary people or people or experts of language, they are promoting multilingualism. Why it is important, why we are promoting multilingualism? we can we can survive with one language. We don't need multiple language to survive, right? We can be in our own one particular place and set up, and we can, yes, live our whole life. But why we are learning, why we are promoting, why we are like asking people to enhance or motivating people to enhance their multilingualism? The one most important thing here I have mentioned is neuroplasticity. So multilingualism exposure, it gives you exposure to or it fosters neuroplasticity. What's the benefit of it? Now, what is neuroplasticity? In a very short way, I would like to express is neuroplasticity is your brain's superpower. It means your brain can change, grow, adapt based on experiences, learning, and even injury. So if I get a cut, I'll begin with the injury. So if I get a cut and I know that, okay, now this cut it depends on the intensity of the cut. I know if it is a minor cut, it would not take much time to heal. But if it is a deep cut, if it is a serious one, then yes, it is going to take time. My mind is giving me signal. My own mind is giving me signal. So neuroplasticity is also known as mind within mind. So it is something a brain, and the mind is again in the mind. It has its own power, how it works actually. So neuroplasticity is the brain's incredible ability to recognize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. It's a lifelong process, and nowadays this is the reason everywhere we are coming across this concept of giving importance to our health, to our physical well-being, as well as our mental health well-being, because it is a lifetime process. It goes throughout our life. It has no connection with aging. A lot of people think, oh, I have grown old, so what is the use of doing this? That is absolutely a mythical concept people are living in if they are following that concept. So it allows us to learn, adapt, and recover from injury. If we are coming across any sort of injury, if it is, whether it is a physical injury, whether it is a mental injury, our mind, it is brain's incredible ability, like it's a brain inside a brain. So it has the ability to recover from the injury. And sometimes we listen that, oh, some miracle has happened in neuroscience, and that's what I guess this is the this particular neuroplasticity phenomena of the brain is responsible for that miracle. So always try to train your brain with the help of regular exercise, with pranayam is the one of the most super, I would say, proven. It's a proven, it is a proven uh, uh, remedy to enhance your cognitive skill. And here's a simple way to understand. I mean, just simply think about that. Imagine your brain as a jungle full of trials. Your brain is a jungle. A lot of things are going on in your brain, and every time you learn something new or repeat an activity, you are walking down the path. So if I'm learning new things, and i'm I have taken admission to a new course, or I have joined a new classes like tennis or badminton classes, I'm new to it, I don't know how to play. So every time we you are walking down a path, the more you use that path, the cleaner and stronger it becomes. suppose I have now started working out, and I'm putting my health on priority. And if that's why you will listen that the gym goers, they say that I like to go to gym every day. I don't want to miss it. So that's what this paragraph is saying, that neuroplasticity has, when you start doing it, it motivates you to continue it. And similarly, if you stop using it, the path fades and others might grow in its place. That's neuroplasticity in action. So when you stop doing it, obviously you tend to miss it out. So if I am not good at maths, suppose, so if I am not out of fear, I'm not practicing solving maths problem, eventually I'm going to lose it. I'm not going to my ability in that particular genre will not be enhanced because I'm not practicing it. My mind is not directing towards it. So that's how neuroplasticity works. And this is why we say to train our brain. It's important to train this monkey mind. Now, it helps to learn new skills. What neuroplasticity actually does, it helps to learn new skills like languages or music, dance, painting, learning guitar, because guitar has also a lot of dynamics into it, to learn A major, B major, A minor, B minor, a lot of mathematics involved into it. So it needs cognitive skill. Now, recover after a stroke or an injury. Now, that break. So that's why we say, if you are maintaining your health, your physical and your mental health, whenever you come across any sort of injury, the recovery will be faster comparative to those people who are not exercising. Now, break bad habits and form new ones, boost memory and thinking by staying mentally active. So there is no drinks available outside which claims that if you drink this, the brain will develop and this and that. No, it is always connected to exercise. Like, you need to actually exercise your brain. And how? By interaction in a good environment, interaction with good gesture, or a nice conversation, positive conversation. Those are actually and only contributors for development of cognitive skill and eventually your linguistic exposure. This is how it actually works. I want to show the viewers how it works. So here you can see these are axons, and this is one neuron, this is another neuron, and how it is connecting. So it grows from here. This is how it grows. It's neuronal junction where electrical signal and chemical neurotransmitters are relayed between neurons and muscles. So this is how it actually happens. So we should not take it like, oh no, this is just an information. No, it's not just an information. It's a scientifically proven phenomena that goes inside our brain every day. Now, slide 8 shows that enhancing uh, linguistic exposure. Now, there are certain strategies that if we come across any sort of see, linguistic exposure, here the exposure also connects with our nervous. Sometimes we get nervous to speak in front of a camera or new people, or we are hesitant to speak even with anyone in our day-to-day situation. Now, this is where we need to address this issue needs to be addressed. So here we can enhance it by certain strategies, that is dialogue reading, language rich environment, and authentic texts and native speakers. So people are nowadays on screen rather than interaction. Sorry. So people are, we need to keep our minimize our screen time and incorporate ourselves more into interactions with your friends, families, your mentors, your supervisors, your colleague, anyone. And yes, there are a few practical applications of it. Now, the most simple or very easily available, very easily we can acquire it from is our parents. We say that parents are our first teachers, we say. So, daily conversation routine with our parents. When we were uh, fortunately, I was when I was growing, I didn't had this mobile phones and all. So I got a good exposure with my parents to talk with and all. But nowadays, when I see students, when we teach students also in our classroom, we face this issue that they don't involve themselves into conversations and interactions. Rather, they feel that, okay, everything is available on phone, so we can go and have it from there. But phone will not interact with you. It is only going to provide you information. Yes, and even the chat bot talks to you, or AI talks to you, saying, "Hello, how are you? I'm Siri here." But it is not going to reciprocate your feeling as a human being can reciprocate. I strongly feel this. So, and for educators, it is integrated contextual vocabulary. So, educators, they should enhance. I mean, we always involve ourselves on a regular basis with reading books. Yes, reading books, reading different genres, books of different genres, and newspapers of different section, like editorial section or a comic section or a political section or business or sports. So different genre has different terminology and vocabulary, and that is why we say that, I mean, it is considered that we enhance our vocabulary. And for professional, yes, cross cultural communication, learning new languages. So we see that uh, during recruitments, I mean, not, sorry, I mean, placements. So students are asked about their linguistic competence. Why? Because once you join corporate world thrives upon this interactions with international clients. So we need to have linguistic competence. We need to work upon our linguistic competence so that we will be able to represent ourselves well. I feel that language is the only medium that you can properly like tell other person what you are actually feeling, or what is your emotion going inside yourself. And yes, that was with that we came to an end of this talk. Um, it was quite when I was thinking or choosing this talk, I was quite thoughtful that this is something going to help uh, students of class 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and parent also, so that they can be the part of this educational growth years along with the kids. It is not only the kid. When we are enhancing or working upon our career, it is not one person. It's the hard work of, I feel, whole family, and obviously that individual who is struggling or who is making himself or herself better day by day. So yes, thank you for this opportunity, sir.
Thank you very much, Priyanka. It was very nice listening to you. No? It was like, no, even they said the 9th, 10th, and 11th, 12th, it is useful for everyone, even the people who are preparing for the competitive examinations also, it will be helpful for them. And most probably the linkages that you're talking about, the linguistics competence that you're talking about was really useful. And I hope that those who are watching have got a lot of benefit from this. And also I request everybody to subscribe the channel and watch it again and see that, there are a lot many benefits are there when you start working on this, when you start thinking about it, and how you can connect with the neuro linguistics. I was just wondering that it was not only about the language itself, but it was about something neuroscience, how you
Yes,
can get connected with others,
yes,
and how the vocabulary connects. And you're talking about the example of no Bali was very nice. No Telugu what we
Thank
call
you.
in Canada how it will be and all.
Yes, yes.
So I think no, please kindly follow this channel and also try to listen. If you have any queries, type in the chat box. No, thank you, Priyanka Reddy, for your time and for making it
Thank
happen. And I hope that this way we would look forward for your future sessions also on various topics.
you,
Thank you
sir.
very